Hello everyone. Welcome to the table tennis classroom. Today we are learning how to backhand loop against topspin. The first key point is the legs. Your stance should be about 1.2 meters away from the table. Feet should be slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Keep your weight evenly distributed between both legs. Don't shift your center of gravity to just one leg. Your balance should be centered. Next, your stance. I personally prefer a square stance. When training the basics, I recommend standing square. If a square stance feels weak or powerless, you can try putting your right foot forward and your left foot back to better utilize your waist power. You might notice that some top-level players place their left foot slightly forward. That's because they have a very solid foundation. They can generate power from any stance, so they choose this position in competitions to optimize recovery and speed. That's why they go with left foot forward. But for beginners, I recommend staying centered. Build a solid foundation first. That will help you improve more effectively later. Second point, the waist. Many players don't know how to use their waist. Even some professional players struggle with this. They're unsure how to involve their waist. Let me be clear. Using your waist is essential for the backhand. In some tutorials, you may have seen waist movement like this. Up and down. That's incorrect. The movement should be side to side. Slightly tuck in your abdomen. Start your hands slightly to the left of your stomach, not in the center. From the center, you can't generate power. The third point is the arm. You may have seen top athletes whose leg and waist movement appear minimal, and it looks like they're just using their arms. But that's not the case. They minimize movement to quickly transition to the next stroke. But without a solid foundation, you need to execute the full motion. That's how you develop the feeling of using your legs, waist, and arm together. Many people don't know how to use their wrist when generating power. They rely entirely on the arm. No waist, no legs, just arm. This way, you can't produce real power. Others try to use only their wrist, just flicking the ball. That results in a thin contact, with no sense of impact. The forearm and wrist must work together as a unit. They're one piece. Start with the upper arm leading the forearm. Then the forearm leads the wrist. And finally, the paddle tip comes through. That's a complete power sequence. Don't rely solely on the wrist, and don't rely solely on the forearm. It has to be a complete chain of movement. Remember one common mistake. When you make the backswing, make sure your racket are not positioned in the middle or on the right side of your body, because that way you won't be able to engage your waist at all. You'll be relying only on your arm. Your backswing should be slightly to the left of your center line. Let the legs drive the waist and the waist drive the arm. Finally, power should transfer to the fingers and wrist. Now let's talk about the relationship between brushing and hitting. It's the same as with the forehand. Back when my backhand wasn't very strong, I relied too much on brushing the ball. There wasn't enough impact. I didn't understand how to hit through the ball. Later, after a long period of practicing and figuring things out, I finally got a good grasp of how to combine brushing and hitting in the backhand loop. You must impact the ball first, then brush. Don't close the racket angle too much, because if you close it too much, there's no room to generate impactful contact. Slightly open your racket angle, make contact with the ball, then brush. Many players struggle to generate power. You can start by focusing only on hitting. Try to get a feel for striking the ball out solidly. Use your strength to slap the ball out first. Get that power out initially. Find a good power chain. Then gradually reduce the force. and add in finger and wrist control. Start with the legs driving the waist, then the waist driving the arm. Focus on striking the ball solidly first. Get the power out. When looping with the backhand, the contact point on the rubber should be slightly above center. This helps create a whipping effect during the stroke. If you contact the ball too low on the rubber, that's incorrect. You won't get enough brushing action either. Keep the racket face slightly open. Don't close it too much. The timing for looping the ball should be on the falling phase, just after the peak, slightly lower than the highest point of the bounce. Avoid looping during the rising phase. If your fundamentals aren't strong yet, don't copy top-level players and their choice of timing for looping. So, if you don't have a solid foundation yet, just loop the ball during the early falling phase after the peak. Once you have a solid foundation, you can freely adjust the timing of your loop. You can do it during the rising phase, the falling phase, or at the peak. So it's crucial to build a strong foundation first.